Thomas had a question. Dave, when studying, were you ever apprehensive about showing yourself on video? Yes, I've told this story before. Well, I told it at a lecture, a talk I gave at the University of New South Wales, which you can find on my second channel, or part of it anyway. You have to be there to get the full thing. And yes, when I first created, I had never been on camera before. I had never seen myself on video before. And I got the idea for the video blog. I thought, oh yeah, this, had a look around. There's no other engineering video blogs around. Video blogs seemed to be like this big thing at the time, or they were just starting up, as a thing. And I thought about doing in fact, my first thought was that I would do a radio show because I already had a really good mic for doing a voiceover thing that I did for some other project, which I've also done a video on. Check that out. Patent. I was almost going to get a patent for this software idea I had. Anyway, and that's on my second channel somewhere. And I had this microphone. So I had the idea for a podcast. Podcasts were just starting up at the time, but I thought, who's going to listen to me just talking on a podcast, like actually talking to myself, because interview podcasts weren't a thing there, but, weren't much of a thing back then, but they were starting up. But yeah, I thought, no one wants to just listen to me on a boring audio podcast. So I'll do a video blog and I'd do a series, like a numbered thing. So this would be number 1, this would be number 2, and so on. So I would do a electronics variety show, so to speak, like as a video in a video blog format. So I think the best I had at the time was a webcam, was a 320 by 200 webcam. So I dusted on this 320 by 200 webcam, and I just back then there was a 10-minute limit. There was a 10-minute time limit on YouTube, so you had to do under 10 minutes. And writing scripts wasn't a thing, so I thought, I'll just I'll just talk for 10 minutes about whatever. So I did an oscilloscope review. So I did a book review. I did a chip review, was it, or something like that? So I thought, you had to have all these different segments in a thing. Anyway, this is tangent to that. And so I shot and edited this. It just got under 10 minutes. I think it was 9 minutes and 59 seconds or something. So I edited it to under 10 minutes. So I just turned on the camera and started talking. Exactly what I do these days. Just turned on the camera, started talking, had no idea what I was going to say. And then I edited it down to 10 minutes. I can't remember what editor I used at the time, but that was a new thing for me. I hadn't edited a video before. And and then I looked at the finished product and I went, oh my God, that's embarrassing. Because I'm just sitting there, hi, because I didn't know how you're supposed to act on camera or whatever, because I'd never done it before. So I was just sitting here talking in this monotonic voice. This oscilloscope is really great, and I really like how it has the pushy knobs, and this, I highly recommend this book. And I was like, and it was, I was like this stunned mullet on camera, and I hated it. I thought, it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. But I knew enough and I had enough guts to not be embarrassed. The golden rule in life is don't be afraid of being embarrassed by doing something embarrassing, because you'll never get anywhere. So I knew this and I thought, screw it. And I'm not going to redo it. I'm not going to, it won't come out any better if I redo it. And just come out a little bit better. So it'll still be embarrassing. I'll still think it's embarrassing. So I went, screw this. I'm going to upload this. Screw it. Who cares, right? So I uploaded it, and the EEV blog didn't have a name then. So it was the electronic. So it was just I think I called it it had the full name. And I hadn't shortened it to EEV blog. So it was the Electronics Engineering Video Blog. And I think I even called it episode 1 at the time, because I had the idea that, I would number them and call them that. And I thought, this is the most embarrassing thing ever, but I don't care. I'm going to upload this. So I uploaded it to my personal YouTube channel, and then I posted it on the Oz Electronics Usenet group. I was one of the top people posting on the Oz Electronics forum. And people just thought, this is great. And I had like 50 subscribers in the first day. 50 people subscribed. And I thought this was the best thing ever. And I thought, holy shit. My fear of being embarrassed by that would have stopped me from starting this because it was so bad. But people didn't seem to care. So, yeah. And then they said, when's episode number 2? So, so I decided I shot it in like just a bland background like this. I was shooting in the back room where I had my little office, and there was no background. So I decided, I'll go shoot it out in the lab where there's horrible audio and there's no light, but at least I had the instruments in the background, right? At least I had a rack of stuff. So I decided to shoot the second one out there. And I think the first one was the only one I ever used a webcam, that crusty 320 by 200 webcam for. And then I switched over to my, I had a Canon MV800, I think it is, which is a DV tape camcorder. It's one of those DV tapes. So I had to get a Firewire card for the computer. It was a compact flash card that went into the compact flash. I had Firewire, and I recorded that in 720 by 560i PAL. So it was in 4:3 aspect ratio PAL, but it was slightly better because, it was a proper camcorder, but still had that camcorder look. And yeah, that's it. I just never stopped making videos. And within 2 years of doing that, it was my full-time job. So yes, I was very apprehensive about showing my first video. Yeah, I was sweating, thinking that, oh my God, this is going to be so embarrassing. But I knew I don't care about embarrassed. I've been embarrassed all my life, right? And I, didn't really care all that much. But I was still concerned that everyone on the forum would laugh at me and go, oh, this is just the worst shit ever. This is, So, but and there are a few people who sort of had some, some sort of criticism for it. But everyone else seemed to like it. So, yeah, they encouraged me to make a second one. So a couple of days later or something, or a week later or something, I made a second one. And then I never started, was making 2-3 videos a week for years until, I went full-time at it with 10,000 subscribers. I had 10,000 subscribers just over, I think, when I went full-time. So I was one of the first full-time YouTubers in the country. So I was one of the first. I was one of the pioneers. I was certainly the first full-time engineering YouTuber. So I pioneered that space. For engineering YouTube. So there you go. Yes, I was very apprehensive about Upload. I thought it was garbage, but I knew that if I tried to rehearse it and I tried to maybe a script or something, I knew it wouldn't be any more polished. And my editing skills sucked and I didn't know how to act. And then I realized within a few videos, I realized, I shouldn't try and act on camera. I should just be myself. I just, which is my, talkative self. So yeah, to this day, I still shoot videos exactly the same way. I have no idea what I'm going to say before I hit the record button. I hit the record button and then something comes out and it is what it is. And then try and edit something together. But almost all of the content I make, same with that first video, almost all of the content I shot for that first video is, went into that final 10 minutes. I maybe, trimmed out a few words here and there to try and fit it under 10 minutes, but I was conscious of the 10-minute time limit. And but yeah, it was very embarrassing. I still find that in video incredibly embarrassing, but I'm not going to delete it because I don't care if people think it's embarrassing or not. Because embarrassment is in the eye of the beholder, so to speak. So, yep, don't be embarrassed about stuff. You'll never get anywhere. You'll never get anywhere in life by being embarrassed or thinking this will be embarrassing in some way. Don't let it worry you and you'll get far. So there you go. Thank you, Thomas. Good question. Yeah, the DV tapes, the little DV tapes. And I don't know if I overwrote it. Maybe I still have that original footage. Maybe I still, because you could record, an hour on those tapes? And each video is only 10 minutes, and I wouldn't have overwritten it. I would have just pressed record again. I can't actually recall. But I shot hundreds of videos with that DV cam, or maybe 100 videos. I shot a lot of videos with that DV cam, that PAL DV cam. Well, no. I don't know. No, then I switched to a Senyo Exacti HD 1010, which was like a gun grip type camcorder, shaped camcorder. But that allowed me to save to SD card. That was a game changer. And shoot in 16:9 aspect ratio, because before that all my videos were 4:3 aspect ratio. Do I enjoy laughing at my detractors now? Yes, that's always fun. That is one of the yep. That is one of the perks of the business. Is that yeah, well, show me your blog, asshole. You want to criticize mine? Go ahead. but I'm successful and well known for it. Even if I have people who hate me and I get death threats, I don't care. Firewire. I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago. Yeah, Firewire. Yeah, that's the only way you could get the thing off the tape. I don't know if it was Movie Maker. Maybe it was Movie Maker. Yeah, it was Windows. Yeah, it would have been Windows 95 at the time. I would have had Windows 95. Yeah, maybe it was Movie Maker. You like the early videos where the internet. I did a bit of politics back in the early days. Now I don't do politics on the YouTube channel. Good to hear. Error 42. Thank you. Genuinely enthusiastic to watch. Yeah. I was just enthusiastic for what I did. Once again, everyone back then went into it for genuine reasons. We went into it because we enjoyed just making content and sharing it. As I mentioned in my talk that I gave at the University of New South Wales, this blog was just yet another step. It was step number 3 in my journey of publishing stuff. The first one was publishing stuff in the magazines. So I published my projects in the magazines, and I got well known for that. To the point where I'd turn up to a job interview and people go, "You're Dave Jones, you wrote that article in EA." Yep, that's me. Yeah, so your name, I learned that your name can precede you. And that's very important. And it's a very valuable thing to have. If you can get in a position where people know who you are before you even turn up to the door, it can open a lot of doors for you. So I realized that very early on, back when I published articles. So, yep. And then came the web. And I had a very popular website where I shared my projects and other stuff. I had tons of people contacting me on the website. And I got job offers on the website. I got contract roles from having my stuff on the website. Yeah. And then the third was doing these video blogs. And by the way, how I said I had my original thought was for the podcast was to do an audio show, that eventually turned into the Amp Hour. Once I think I'd been doing the EV blog for a year. And then I saw one of Chris Gemmell's videos. And he was doing very crude videos back then. I can't remember what type, but, probably some circuit design or something. And then I thought, oh, this guy, I think, we might make a good pair. The good cop, bad cop. He's like the good cop American. I'm the bad guy Aussie. I'm the loudmouth Aussie. And I thought that might make a good pairing. So I contacted Chris. It might have been 2 years into it. I can't remember when did the Amp Hour start. It was the first episode of the Amp Hour. But so I contacted him with the idea to do a podcast together. And he jumped on board because he didn't have any following on YouTube. He only had, next to none. Where I was the king of engineering YouTube back then. So he jumped on board. He was very happy to team up. And we've been doing the Amp Hour ever since. So that led into the Amp Hour. I eventually did the audio podcast thing. But I don't think I would have been a success if I started with the audio podcast. I don't think that would have taken off seriously because podcasting wasn't a big thing then. And I don't think anyone would have just listened to one guy talk to himself. Whereas at least the video is visual. I can show off stuff and you can see my face and you can see me get excited about stuff and things like that. It doesn't come across in audio. So I don't think I would have been a success if I started out with the audio podcast like I thought. So it was a good choice to go for the video blog. I can now upscale my 320 by 200 to 4K. Yeah, I should take my original video and upscale it. I still have my original. I found my original Canon. I think it's MV800. Yeah. So I said it probably still works. I'd be surprised if it doesn't work. But I don't have a FireWire. I don't have a FireWire connection. But yeah, I could pull in all those original. I assume there's because I have a tub with the original tapes in them. So I assume that some of them still have original footage on that. That might be interesting. I'll do a video on recovering from, getting a fire. I assume you can get like a USB FireWire interface, right? Haven't looked. I just assume you can. So yeah, I could still do it.